Hey, hey, everybody. Welcome to Fork, Mike, Knife, Season 3, Episode 3, with our friends, the BoatCast podcast. And instead of telling you a little bit about BoatCast podcast, I'm going to play a little video, and it'll give you an idea of who they are and what they are, just in case you're not familiar with them. So here we go.
Do you live your life rockboat to rockboat? If so, then welcome aboard the BoatCast, the podcast for rockboaters by rockboaters.
So, let me turn the
mic down,
the reverb off. Please welcome to the show Chris Rode and Mark Novitsky.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, hi guys.
How's everybody doing?
Our show.
This is so exciting.
Mark, how's
We're
it
big
going?
fans of the show too, so this is awesome.
Oh, great.
Well, I love it. We are fans of your show as well, or the podcast as well. Can you guys tell us a little bit about BoatCast and how it got started? So anybody who's not familiar with it, as well as maybe they're not familiar with what is the rock boat.
Yes. So I will. I'll how it came to be the podcast, and then I guess Mark could piggyback on the rock boat. So the podcast was created on my first rock boat, which was Rockboat 20, and the idea came. I think it was the first night, Mark, right?
It was the first night.
And I looked at Mark, and Mark had already had experiences dealing with podcasts, so I floated the idea to him, and we then went and started it, not knowing the unfortunate future we had for the last year, and it was just a blessing in disguise, I think, to be able to connect artists and through a podcast that has never been done before for the rock boat. So that's the genesis of the podcast.
Yeah, I remember Chris saying that first night, I love this boat. I don't know, this is life-changing, and I want every day to be like this. And I said, we don't have to live our life rockboat to rockboat. And I mean, it's been just an amazing experience getting to connect with people like yourselves who clearly live the rockboat all throughout the year. And so for those who don't know about the rockboat, it is a boat that has been sailing for the last 20 plus years. Sister Hazel, the band, many of you may know the song All For You amongst other hits. And it was their baby. And over the years, it has just grown into a community, or as we say on the BoatCast, the F word, a family.
Nope, that's great. I think everybody post first event, am I going to make it to next year? Because I just want to live that lifestyle. So I totally get where you're coming from. When you guys first started, especially you, Mark, because I know you've been doing, was this your 7th, the last one?
The last boat was my 7th. That's right.
So help me understand what brought you to the first one and what keeps you coming more than anything else. And don't say soft serve.
Well, It's funny. I don't even think I had soft serve on the last boat. I know that's sacrilege, but it was Sister Hazel right from the beginning. It all started for me 1997, maybe it was 96. I was down in Florida at Pleasure Island, it used to be called. Now it's Downtown Disney, or Disney Springs, rather. They've changed the name a couple times, but was waiting to go into a comedy club there, and Sister Hazel came on. They played All For You. There was probably a row of 20 locals that were singing the song. And I'm like, wow, that was a really catchy tune, Sister Hazel. And then as we came out of the comedy club, they were playing it again. So, over the years, I talked with the guys, and they played 4 mini sets that night, and went out the next day and bought the CD and have been a lifelong fan. And so when the first time I heard about the Rock Boat was 2003, when A Day in the Life, the Sister Hazel DVD came out, and I said, oh, I gotta go on that. Unfortunately, I was smack in the middle of medical school at the time, and over the years, it wasn't until 2011 when I finally was able to convince my wife and the rest of the family, who happens to be watching. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. They were on that first Rock Boat with us, Rock Boat 11, and it's become a family tradition. And so we usually go with a group of 10 people, and it's just life-changing, and the people, and you hear this from the artists, just so sincere, such an amazing experience.
Yeah.
It's an easy question for somebody's first boat. I typically ask, what artist brought you onto the boat? But I agree with you guys 100%. After you've been on your first boat, it doesn't matter anymore. You're there for the community, family. There's so many of us that say it really doesn't matter what art. I'm gonna go just 'cause I know it's gonna be great.
Yeah. So the cool thing about doing today's show with you guys is we all have that commonality, a love for music, and many of the bands that are on there, the folks that work at Six Man, the friends and family that we have made along our adventure, any one of those boats. But each one of us has also flair for food.
Yes.
We all eat, and we do like to cook, and we tend to have toys in the kitchen. And so we are put together a little meal between the 3 of us, 3 different locations. We are doing a couple of sides. Chris, what are you working on today?
I am going to be cooking some salmon on a Himalayan salt block.
Whoa.
With some asparagus.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Mark?
So we are going to be having some chipotle espresso rubbed filet done in the sous vide.
Nice. You
Very
want to
cool.
give the audience that's on just a quick explanation of sous vide?
Yes. So sous vide, it started for me in looking at something to get my wife, who has everything.
Yeah.
And as I was looking at things in the kitchen, I came across this. Actually, let me show you. So
Part field trip.
we've got this white contraption, the hair, and what it does is it very meticulously, within a half a degree, the equivalent of boiling meat, but it makes the perfect steak that is cooked through. It's going to be good, and exactly what temperature. So it allows for making the perfect steak. Since I've done the sous vide, for those rock boaters watching, you don't need to go to a Cagney's. You can have a restaurant quality steak at home, no problem. And that's what we're going to be making today.
So if you want the steak medium rare, which is like 125 degrees on the inside, you just set the temperature to 125, and boom, you're guaranteed that you'll get not
100%. And you do it right on an app. It's beautiful.
So I'm thinking,
What are you going to make, Cheryl?
Well, I'm just thinking, tagging on to that whole thing. Well, they do cabin concerts. Maybe we should do a cabin concert.
Oh, I don't know. How do you do that?
Love it.
Just think about it.
I like it.
We're
Let's
doing
do it.
sides today. I will be doing a Hasselback potato, and I am actually going to stuff it with one of our favorite dips. We can't have an event in the house without hot artichoke dip. So one day we were bored with just baked potatoes, and I said, well, why don't we put these two babies together? And it ended up being really tasty. So just a quick thing about Hasselback in case people don't understand the reference. Literally, there was a restaurant in Switzerland in the early 50s, Hasselbacken. And what they did is they kind of created this methodology of either taking a protein or vegetables, whatever you want to do, and you do thin slices without going all the way through whatever it is that you're cooking. Then you can top it, stuff it, just season it. Typically, you'll bake it and then eat it.
And I am going to, and I guess the thought was, Cheryl, potato would go with your steak, Mark, if we were together.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make a grilled romaine salad, really. Yeah, grilled with romaine.
Yeah.
And
some blistered tomatoes.
Yeah, on it. And some nice cheese. It reminds me, I'm going to run out so it has a minute to warm up.
So what we'd like to do, who wants to start on your side? I wasn't sure if Mark, you wanted to take them through how you get to the sous vide process, or Chris, are you with showing us how to plank up the salmon and get it on the grill? Up to you guys.
Yeah, I can. I'll start with get the salmon prepped and walk everybody through that. So basically, there's two ways you can cook salmon. There's the salmon you can keep with the skin on, or you can take the skin off. The purpose of having the skin on is to hold all of the flavor more so than you would if you took the skin off. So I have elected to remove the skin because it's just different. I don't know. I don't like the look of it or the texture of it. So I went and I removed 2 pieces of skin from 2 pieces of salmon. I also have cleaned and chopped up some asparagus as well. It's important to know too that when you are using a salt block, you want to gradually increase the temperature. You don't want to break the salt block, so you have to start at about 200 degrees and slowly work your way up to about 400, which is something that I learned today how to do.
So there's nothing like, I didn't know that you had tempered salt. So that's a really great.
And you want to make sure that you put olive oil or some kind of cooking oil or PAM down on the salt block, so you can. Sorry about that. So you can make sure that the fish does not stick to the block itself. I'm going to go ahead and try to.
Camera. See what you're up to. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
look at that.
That's the salt block. That's the salmon, asparagus, and some cocktails. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my fancy little doohickey thing here and take some oil and put it on the salt block, lather it up real good. You don't want any fish sticking to it.
Hey, Mark.
And then you also...
Yes.
You're slathering it. Neither one of us have seen, I'm sorry, Chris, neither one of us have seen a block that size. Where did you order that?
I actually went to the Himalayas and grabbed it. I'm just kidding. There's this place called Amazon, and they do miracles. And it actually came with a metal frame that you can then put it back in once you're done.
Oh, that's great.
So then I'm going to put some on the fish. Then I am going to use my, I have to represent the Philadelphia Eagles from, so I'm going to grab my salmon, and I'm going to transfer that's going to cook. And so that's where I'm at with the salmon, and then the asparagus will go on a little later, as it will cook a lot faster than the salmon. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to take it over back to you guys.
Great. Mark, either you can go or I can start, whatever.
Yeah, why don't you start out? I'm
Okay.
excited to hear.
To Bill and Chris, if you can mute, that will hold down some of the wind.
Oh, sorry about that.
Gonna flip the camera around here. There we go.
Hi, guys. I went ahead and pre-prepped some things for us today just to make it a little quicker. So I'm going to start with the dip. And literally, this is exactly how I make the dip. The only difference is we're going to be putting it, stuffing it in a baked potato. Otherwise, it'd be in a container and be in the oven for about 15, 20 minutes just till it's bubbly and hot. So what I have here, if you want to come in, what I have here is a can that has been fully drained of artichoke hearts that are chopped. Literally, folks, I mean, if you want to go through doing artichoke hearts yourself, have at it. I just find this to be a lot easier. All right, what goes in there is about 1.25 cups of mayonnaise. We're Hellman's people here. I know that we now live in North Carolina and Duke's is a big favorite, but it's a little too vinegary for me. We may have touched on this before, but yeah, I'm just going to throw in the Hellman's plug. Okay, you want to get in here? All right, so just get those mixed together. What I then have are some seasonings. Simple. It is basically 1 to 2 teaspoons of granulated garlic. You can use fresh if you want to. Some coarse ground pepper, black pepper, and some kosher salt. That's it. Super simple. And we really like the garlicky flavor, so we tend to go a little heavy on it. All right, so that is the mixture. The last thing that goes in is Parmesan. You can tell this is just the kind that comes in the container. You could use fresh if you want to. It's just we're going to need about 10 to 15 minutes in the oven, and you don't want that fresh cheese to burn. So it might be easier for you to use this. That's the classic entry from an ingredient perspective in the dip. All right. So that comes together super easy. Now let me show you how to Hasselback a potato, and hopefully I won't mess it up. All right, what I've done here, medium to a large potato, depending on how much potato you want per person. You can cut this in half. You could do a big one and then cut it in half between 2 people. You'll see that I have 2 chopsticks. If you don't have chopsticks, go to your local Chinese restaurant and just get a set that can be tossed away if you want to or retain. What we're going to start doing is as even as you can, slices, but what those chopsticks are doing, it's preventing us from going all the way through. So that's going to retain the shape of that potato while giving us that nice, I guess, accordion type approach. And that is basically what Hasselback is. So let me just finish this up. All right. Yep. Once in a while that happens. Just makes a bigger space for more stuffing. Yep. All right. So that's basically it from getting it in. Those, see, did not go all the way through. They're just nice little slices. And then what we're going to do is put this in the oven. This size potato is going to take between 40 and 50 minutes. What I like to do is set it for 40 minutes and then take just a small paring knife, go in, to the center area. And don't just go straight in. Take your paring knife and test in the middle so that you don't destroy what you worked hard to make pretty. So we're going to do a little bit of magic because I needed that amount of time for the potato to get ready.
Oh, I thought we just turn it over to Mark for the next 40 minutes.
We can do that.
No, I was kidding.
So what I've done is I've actually pre-baked a couple of potatoes. And you can see they're all nice and separated. And then all we're going to do is stuff these babies. I usually go every other one and be liberal with it. You know, don't be afraid of it. It's all going to kind of cook down and get all nice and gooey. But you'll get the artichokes, that great mayonnaise combination with the Parmesan makes a good little sauce inside, keeps the potato moist. Get a few more done here. And then this is going to go back in the oven for about 15 minutes or so. I do have one more thing that I'm going to do to it, and then we're going to hand it off to Mark because I'm going to take these, finish them up, and put them in the oven, and then we'll revisit. So I did get some shaved Asiago, and I'm just going to add that to it. And for a little bit of color, I'm just going to do a little bit of paprika. All right, so these are going to go back in the oven, and we're going to turn it over to Mark.
So, there we go. So I actually have a helper with me today, sporting a Sister Hazel shirt. This is BoatCast
Nice.
Betsy. She's going to be holding this for me.
Okay.
And we are going to start with the espresso rub. So let's go. First, let's start over at the espresso machine. And it's important to say it goes better if you have decaf espresso. And maybe in the chat, any of our listeners right now, viewers, is Lavazza the espresso that they have on the boat? I'm not sure, but that, and let us know who where your favorite coffee is on the boat. So just gonna brew some espresso here. Notice the Drew Holcomb mug here.
Nice.
So I like how Chris beverages, making it very much the rock boat. While it's about music, good times, and people, it is quite a party. I often describe it as spring break for adults, but we will make sure towards the end that this espresso that we're brewing right now is made into a drink.
And the best non-fee coffee is definitely the buffet in the back there, where like the children's section. Yeah.
That's what I was hoping you were gonna say.
Where it brews you one cup at a time. That one.
Yeah.
And
They
there's
all get very upset when it's broken.
That's a popular one, and so I often will go downstairs and get the double espresso, and then we'll pour that in for a red eye.
Wow.
In the mornings.
That's a lot of coffee.
So we've got the coffee grounds, and now we're going to do the rub. So we're going to do a little bit, and you got this, Bets? A little bit of garlic powder here. Oh, you're going to be the one mixing it up.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. And by the way, I will post the recipe for everyone. I'm actually doing a little bit less because sous vide takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the cut of the steak. So I already started one. So I'm using actually a little bit less than I normally would in terms of the concoction here. But do a tablespoon. And if you haven't tried this chipotle powder, this stuff is amazing. When we make this, we often will spiralize some sweet potatoes and then get some good EVOO and then rub it in with this and bake that for about a half hour. And those are pretty incredible. So I'm going to throw these in here. So we got the garlic powder. And by the way, this recipe was adapted from, if you've ever been to Capitol Grill, if you've ever gotten the Kona rubbed sirloin.
Yeah.
This is a derivative of that.
Perfect. Are we on mic?
Yep.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
If you go to the Capitol Grill, at least when we did on your anniversary, they give you a set of steak knives. We have 2.
And Capitol Grill, at least it used to be owned by Olive Garden. So I know my parents, again, shout out to them. They love their Olive Garden. So if you go there and you buy a bunch of gift cards, they'll give you some of those steak knives. But going on your anniversary is pretty a good idea.
You know someone else who loves that place?
So lots of black pepper here. Some salt. And I guess that is everything except for the brown sugar. You can also use granulated sugar, but I like brown sugar. Are you able to see that? Okay, that's.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to mix this up for us, Betsy?
Okay.
I got my mess.
Okay.
Mush it down, yeah?
Yeah, I'm mushing it so it gets in. So it's not thick when you eat it. So it's going to be topping.
Excellent. And so this is a surprise for Betsy, but guess what?
What?
You're going on the rock boat this year.
What?
Yes. Yeah. We got you and your sister.
Oh,
We got a room.
Cool.
So she is going to be the newest member of the rock boat family.
woohoo!
Welcome aboard. Practice your high fives, Betsy.
Yeah, I'm really
Give everyone a high five.
High five.
All right,
I'm gonna check her soft serve skills.
Oh, she will be
So,
all
Chris,
about that soft serve, huh?
It looks like you're preparing some asparagus there.
That's correct. I am. I put some olive oil on him, and I also realized today how to cook asparagus for the first time. And
I absolutely love this.
so they obviously come like this, and I had to do some research on how to clean them and then how to break them. So I learned that you grab the end that you eat, basically, and bend it to a point where it snaps, and that's the section that you cook, and then you discard the other part of it. So so we're just rocking and rolling here. We got I'm going to show you guys the salmon here. It's really unique to see the salt itself come up from the salt block. There we go. Get in there.
Wow.
That's the Himalayan salt. Yeah, it's
Crazy.
and so so it's obviously critical to have the the olive oil on the salt block because it starts to char around it. But when I was looking underneath of the salmon, it's very still moist. So, and yeah, it's coming out the side. And then this white gooey substance is actually the fat from the salmon, and it holds a ton of flavor. So it's not very good to consistently flip salmon when you're cooking it.
Back to you.
Back to you, Mark.
All right, so good mixing there, Betsy. All right, so I have gotten some steaks. These are from Costco, which they have great steaks. What I love about Costco is you can get a pretty thick steak there. And that's the beauty of the sous vide versus if you're cooking just on the grill is you can cook all the way through because it's slowly cooking at that lower temperature. So you don't have to worry about the ends getting burnt because it's not, the flame, it's actually bathing in that. So what we're going to do is rub some of these on. Let me grab. If you do invest in a sous vide, it makes sense to get a vacuum sealer, which also is surprisingly helpful around the house with bags of chips and all of that. Prior to the sealer, if I opened up a bag of chips, I would go right through it. But if I pour out a certain amount and then I seal it, it seems to help with that. So let's do this. I'm just gonna, and again, I dried them off because you don't want to stick a moist steak in there. And you'll just kind of rub it here and make sure if there are any crevices, you get the rub right in there. So you don't want to overdo it, but you want to definitely get a nice amount.
Cheryl has just let me know that we will be ordering our sous vide machine before the end of the day.
There you go. It was such a great investment.
One of the few toys we do not own.
I know. And then how long, Mark, once you put it in the, I don't want to call it a Ziploc, in the vacuum seal bag, when you put it in, about how long does it take to get to the temp you want?
So once we'll put it in the vacuum seal, and you can actually take a peek over here, Betsy, you can show what's already cooking. That will take about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Based on just how long, and obviously if it's a thinner slice of meat, it won't take quite as long, but this one will have been cooking for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha. And it can't overcook because it's just going to get to that temperature and hold there. That's why a lot of restaurants use sous vide a lot, because you can just hold it already cooked.
And then a la minute,
just sear it at the end. Yeah.
How long do you let it marinate?
I usually let it marinate overnight.
Cool.
So, do you want to come with me, Bets?
Yeah.
So we're going to vacuum seal this over here. Put it right in the bag. And what this is doing is removing all of the air so that this won't be floating to the top. That's the issue if you otherwise don't seal it, is it'll just pop right up to the top, which of course you don't want a piece of meat that's half bathing and half raw. So,
Right.
But you don't have to necessarily let it marinate. It's still, you can stick it right in, and that's exactly what we're about to do right now.
Right.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because it's, in there for 2 hours or whatever. Mark, how much research?
So it marinates as it's cooking. So you see right here, you just plug it in. You fill it with some water. I'm actually going to fill it with a little bit more water, but I think we're actually okay. I like to use a paper clip on top just so that is there. And then one other set of goodies to make sure that it, again, doesn't float to the top, even though it looks like it's pretty set. They sell these balls that you can put in the top to make sure.
I thought they were ice cubes.
Yeah.
And let me actually show you what it looks like on the app as if we were cooking this. So we're
Okay,
gonna walk right over.
Where did I put her iPad? Okay, there.
Betsy's sister was not happy about me needing to use her iPad.
Well, actually, you're using both iPads. I'm recording with my iPad.
Exactly. All right, so Joule. There are a couple different sous vides out there, but the one that I like is the Joule, Joule.
I was going to ask you, how much research did you do before you picked your sous vide and your vacuum sealer?
The vacuum sealer, that one, it was the one that was there. There aren't as many options with that one, but this is the vacuum sealer itself is, you know, kind of the main brand. The sous vide, it was between the Innova and this one. This one's a little bit smaller. The other one is more efficient if you're cooking for a lot of people. You might want to use that, but I was happy with, I've been very happy with this. In fact, we're using a second one here that I borrowed from my parents. That was a gift for them because after they had that first steak, they were like, wow, we got to get one of these. So,
Wait, they're watching?
they're watching. That's right.
Yay. Hi.
All right. So we've got to connect to the Joule here.
Because we got to sign in.
Let me get connected, and maybe we can check back in with what other people are doing, and then I'll show you when it's ready.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we're going to go on a little field trip to our grill with Billy.
What do you got going there, Chris?
Well, I have I'll use the asparagus that I did not chop up to point. I put the asparagus that I had chopped up and lathered up with some olive oil, and I did add some spices to the salmon. I have a mixture of pepper, salt, and some cayenne pepper.
Love it.
You know,
Nice.
it's hit or miss with cayenne pepper when you use like a pinch. You never know if it's going to be enough or too much. And again, to stress how awesome the salt block is, I think everybody should at least try to cook with it at least once if you are a fan of grilling. It's just amazing to see how the salt is coming up, and yet the fish is still moist. And I did check a little bit ago underneath, and it's still pretty moist underneath there. And yeah, so this is I might want to go out and buy a whole other salt block today and keep cooking all day.
I think that sounds like a great idea. Hey, Betsy, I think your aunt said hello to you.
Your Nana said hi.
Yay.
She's enjoying your dance moves, probably.
All right. Should we get the romaine?
Yeah, you
Grilled
guys good
salad
with
going?
us moving to the outside real quick?
Do
I
it.
got to show you inside.
All right,
first.
well, I'm going to
Flip
flip
it
the camera around so that you can see what Bill's going to do to prep, and then we'll take it away.
Cool.
Got me? All right, so just a typical head of romaine lettuce. We've got a whole, we normally see them in the grocery store 3 at a time, so there's only 2 of us. I'm going to just cut this in half. Couldn't be any simpler. Want to keep the end on because it's holding it all together. I lost 1 leaf by cutting it in half. That's fine. But everything else is now together, and I've got 2 halves. On other earlier episodes of Fork, Mike, Knife, we've made plenty of vinaigrettes, but earlier today, I just made a typical vinaigrette. This one has 2 different kinds of vinegar, just a white vinegar and sherry vinegar, and aged cherry vinegar. And then I've got a little Dijon, some garlic, salt and pepper, and olive oil, obviously, is in this vinaigrette. And so what I want to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of the vinaigrette on here because when it hits the hot grill, that's going to add a whole bunch of flavor.
Wait,
Hold on,
time out
hold on.
to turn off my timer.
We'll get to that in a second. And then we're also going to blister some tomatoes. So I just have some cherry tomatoes here. And I'm going to go ahead and take the same vinaigrette and put it on there. What I'm really looking for is mostly the olive oil, the salt and pepper. So we get those nice and well covered. It's easy to do that here in this bowl. Now what I'm going to do is just put it onto this tray. And you ready?
We're ready. Mark, you continue until we get to the grill.
Okay. All right. So the sous vide app is super easy to use.
Yeah.
So Jewel,
This is heavy, Dad.
you can put that over there. So it is. Can you all see that? Oh, there we go. It is so easy, user friendly. You just hit start Jewel. You can either pick the temperature, knowing that you want to do 129 for an hour and a half, and cook it on your own if you're more experienced. If you haven't, they make it super easy. Like, I want to make the ultimate steak. Again, it will cook anywhere from minutes to 3 hours, depending on the slice. Set temp, you can pick your pink level, how much you like it. It is that user-friendly and easy, and we tend to like it a little medium rare. Set the time. How thick is the steak? About 2 inches. Cooking time will be 2 hours. Start the sous vide. And what's great, as Bill mentioned, is you can't really overcook. So if you're busy, if you're working and you're not sure what time this is going to get done, it can continue to cook for another hour or so before the protein starts to be denatured. So it makes it really convenient. Wow, look at that romaine. That looks amazing.
Yeah, you can see those tomatoes blistering straight away, and then the lettuce doesn't take very long. Billy, any extra instruction?
No, the only other thing I'll say is the way I like to add some smoke to the grill, so I keep it down with some smoke going. I use a smoke box, so we put some chips in there, and then we get a little bit of smoke going from that. And it certainly doesn't take long to cook lettuce, so we don't want it super well done. We just do it on one side, get a little bit of grill marks on it. You can see a little bit of steam coming off there. But you don't put them. There we go. I'm just going to go just 30 seconds longer, and then we'll be done.
All right, we're going to go on mute between the two of you. Whoever needs to either take something off the grill or start prepping on the other side, let us know.
Awesome. Well, I'm still working on the asparagus, getting softer right now. So probably a few more minutes with the asparagus. But we actually have I have a pretty funny story that Mark doesn't know I'm about to share with the world about cooking and the grill. And one evening, I was at Mark's house, and he has a pellet operated smoker, and we thought it would be great to listen to a bunch of rock boat songs and have some cocktails. And we put chicken fingers or chicken wings on the smoker, and the night got away, and there's a picture floating out there somewhere of some poor chicken wings that looked like they had gone through the ringer.
Way too
They
long.
went too close to the equator.
Did you still eat them?
Yep.
And it was a night where we were starving too, and yeah.
All right, that sounds fantastic. Yeah, go ahead and put that over there. And I'm going to use your tongs. We're just going to set up our plate.
Cool.
Because we're ready to go.
So We've got our lettuce, a little grilled lettuce. I'm just going to add a little bit more dressing to it. We've got our blistered tomatoes. I'm just going to put those on the side. And then I've got a little bit of red onion. I like raw red onion, but you could definitely cook them if you want.
The other thing is when you're using the grill, go ahead and think about slicing up a leek.
And then the last thing is some good, this is an aged Asiago. You could use Parmesan, but I really like the solid cheese. You could use, crumbled cheese if you want, but I just like the way it looks to do, long strips of cheese right on the salad. There you go.
Okay, and then there's one last piece of the puzzle. And that is our Hasselback potato. And then just for good measure.
Insert steak or fish here.
All right, guys.
All right, back to you guys.
Awesome. Well, I am going to get the pan heated up here because you want to get it nice and hot. Here we go. I'm gonna just pour a little bit of olive oil and then rub it with a clean paper towel.
Love your kitchen, by the way, Mark.
Oh, thanks. That was the first thing when you guys hopped on when I saw your kitchen and I said, "Oh my God, I love your kitchen."
We were actually thinking of redoing it.
You want it nice and hot. So, Betsy, do you mind holding on to the camera for us here? Here we go. We're going to flip it.
Hey, see you in the kitchen.
All right. So, here is the sous vide. So this has been cooking for 2 hours now. And you will see it is perfectly cooked. This is 126 degrees. And we can unplug.
Perfect.
By the way, when you are using the app, it will automatically shoot you a text and says, you can keep it for the next 2 hours or so.
That's amazing. Very cool.
Bless you.
I muted when I did that.
Did you?
Yeah.
So we're gonna give it just a little bit more time to heat up. Let me turn this on because I always forget to turn this on.
Once you cause a fire alarm.
Yes. This really comes up.
Betsy's telling all the secrets.
Whoa, look at their dish.
But Betsy, you gotta learn that what happens on the rock boat stays on the rock boat.
I'm gonna tell all your secrets. Even when Char got hurt by a razor.
Yeah.
Okay, actually not that. The funny one.
So before you put this back on the grill, I do like to add just a little bit more of the
powder
The
thing.
rub?
The rub. That's the word I was looking for.
Your two people you're talking with already finished their dish.
Look at how amazing that looks.
We're all getting there.
Yeah.
A pan-seared steak is underrated.
I agree. Now, if you really want to get creative, you can get one of these with propane and truly do it, but I wanted something that people could actually do at home.
Yeah, because propane is dangerous.
That is right. You're showing all the secrets, the mess I made.
Well, Stephen Culloch's gonna say hi to me for sure.
Oh yeah.
He knows me. What?
All right. So one about 45 seconds on each side, and this is looking nice and pink. Watching would not like this. She likes her steak massacred, but you find out that temperature the way you like it. Luckily, most of us in this house like things on the medium rare side.
What about char?
Except for char.
So just a quick note to the family that are listening in and watching today. We will post pictures. So guys, don't forget to take a picture of your plated final presentation and send your recipes our way, and we will put those out there for everybody to enjoy and make at home.
Awesome.
Chris, that salmon looks so good. I just love how that salt just climbed right up.
Right, and then this is that's what's left.
Wow.
And then you just clean it off with some warm water.
You know, actually, you're probably right. That's the one thing
It's the first time
know.
you've used it.
Yes. My thought process was kind of just to get rid of it and buy a new one.
No,
No.
that's a bad call. A little warm water, no salt, soap. You'll be fine. And Chris, one last question. What are we drinking today?
Well, this is a Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA.
Nice.
It's a 9%. It's a great way to start the Sunday off.
With a kick.
All right, Chris, you're still a newbie to Rock Boat. Have you heard of Mimosa Monday?
I have.
All right, have you attended one?
So, no. The short answer is no.
Well,
go ahead.
2019, was it 2018 or 2019? I think we had the Mimosa Monday of all time, to the point where people, artists, people we didn't know were bringing bottle after bottle after bottle back to the great outdoors. I think the total was somewhere between 72 and 82 bottles total.
Wow.
And at one point, somebody went and found Andy and said, "There's something going on back there. We think you need to go take."
Andy and Six Man Jen came out to the great outdoors. We had a table covered with 80 bottles of champagne.
Yeah.
You know what? I saw a video recently of Andy drinking it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some of it, yeah.
So if you haven't had Chelsea,
you should have Chelsea Fryer on your
Okay.
She was the master of ceremonies for Mimosa Monday.
She opened every single one of the bottles and took the initial sip.
What?
She took a sip of every bottle.
Yeah.
Oh, what life was like before COVID.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
Good point.
Yeah. Needless to say, 2 people ended up in the pool. One of them's next to me, and the other one was Chelsea.
That's awesome.
Took a dive backwards into the pool on purpose.
It was a fun day.
It was a good day.
Yeah.
We the group that
is getting me thirsty. So espresso is not going to go to waste.
Yum.
Pour a little of that in here, and then it couldn't be a Rock Boat Stowe without a little bit of Fireball or Fireball replacement
equivalent. Nice. Coffee, Fireball,
and mix it with a little horchata.
Oh,
yum! This is called the cinnamon toast crunch, I believe.
Oh, fun!
Right now.
Very cool.
Nicely done.
Thank you, Hero the Band shirt.
And I'm not gonna have that because I'm not.
No, that's not for you, Betsy.
I know.
Unfortunately.
Betsy is not on the drink package.
soda package.
Nope.
Look at those steaks.
All right.
It looks like.
And it looks like we are good steak-wise.
Looks like
we're.
Woohoo!
What do you say, girl?
Yeah, but that looks like chocolate milk.
Doesn't taste like chocolate milk.
It tastes delicious.
I don't know.
I feel so unprepared
I
today.
know. Today we didn't have anything but water.
I didn't have
What's
a
up with
specialty
that?
drink.
All right, so let's take a look at the steak. Let's cut into it.
Yeah, well,
There we go.
it smells good.
All right, let's flip it around and we'll get one final picture with all three dishes.
Flip your camera.
There we go.
Charge is friend. Charge right on the couch.
Nice. That looks amazing, Mark.
You want a little taste buds?
Yeah, but my sister's right here. Hello.
Hey there.
Hello.
We gotta get the steak back. Hey, Betsy, take us back to the steak. There you go.
Back to the yummy steak. Yeah.
Nice.
Is that Nana and Papa?
You gotta zoom in for us. There we go. There we go. That's
All right.
awesome.
Flip it back around and we'll take us out.
All right, and you want to bite? You worked hard for this, girl.
Yum.
How was it?
Well, we just wanted to say thanks, guys. This has been fun.
Thank you so much for having us on. We really appreciate it.
So much fun.
Well, happy eating, happy podcasting, and
Thank you.
keep on listening to as much music as you can.
Awesome. We'll see you on the
Thanks,
boat.
All righty.
See you on the boat.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Do you live your life rockboat to rockboat? If so, then welcome aboard the BoatCast, the podcast for rockboaters by rockboaters.